What's up, my beautiful people? Hope you're having a terrific day. Exile451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. It's Thursday, so that means we're doing some more funny Ask Reddit that I know is gonna make you laugh. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, so this Ask Reddit question is a little bit different, but still pretty funny. The question was, what would be a funny thing to say to a surgeon before anesthesia kicks in 5 seconds later? And let's be honest, most of us have thought about this. So here's just some very entertaining answers. I had broken my wrist and was being put under to have 4 pins inserted. They gave me my anesthesia through an IV. I felt coldness spreading up my arm and across my chest. The nurse asked how I was doing and I said, "This must be what dying feels like." I heard her say, "Oh my gosh." Then I was out. Yeah, I could see that potentially terrifying a nurse. Wow, I actually have a relevant story that happened recently. As I was getting ready to go under, they were placing a device in my mouth to keep me from biting down on the scope they were going to use for an endoscopy. Think medical ball gag, but a hard plastic ring instead of a ball. As the gal was placing it in, I asked, "Wait, what's the safe word?" I heard a good amount of laughing as the world turned to black. Related comment, but doesn't really answer the question. My dad was in the middle of a surgery repairing some pretty nasty damage on his wrist after a skiing accident. He was under heavy anesthesia, but the surgeons were having serious trouble with the screws in his wrist, which apparently jarred him around enough to wake up. He noticed their struggles and managed to say, "Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey." Then he passed back out. I'm told that when I was out having one of my fingers patched up and another reattached after a table saw accident, I asked the surgeon if the drill he was using to put screws in my hand was a DeWalt or a Ryobi. Once a tool man, always a tool man. I had just woken up after having my shoulder worked on. I was in and out of consciousness for a bit and just generally whacked out. I guess I shifted in the bed and moved the blankets a bit and exposed myself as the nurse came in. She just smiled and moved the blankets back. I apparently told the nurse, "You saw mine. Do I get to see yours?" My wife was in the chair next to the bed. Oh. Oh, it's a good thing she knew you were drugged up. I really don't know how my wife would react. Though, if I had to guess, it would be rolling her eyes and just being like, "Why am I not surprised this is what you do when you're on drugs?" Something along those lines, I'd imagine. Follow-up comment to that, though. I remember thinking the nurse was smoking hot. I woke up and she told me she was flattered. I have no idea what I said. As the anesthesiologist was putting me under, he just said I'd start to feel sleepy soon. I asked him, "Aren't I supposed to be counting back from 100 or something?" He replied, "I don't know, I must have skipped that class." Being an anesthesiologist must be awesome as you can always get the last word in. The last time I tried to say something funny right before surgery, they were about to put me out and I said, "Go easy on me, doc, it's my first time." I gave a little chuckle and so did the doctor. He then picked up a scalpel and said, "Don't worry, it's my first time too." And then I promptly blacked out. Follow-up comment, I've used that in the back of an ambulance before as a paramedic. First time in the ambulance? Yeah, me too. They sure have a lot of cool stuff in here, don't they? You see, the paramedic one I think would be a little worse because that is almost just believable enough. The anesthesiologist, there's no way you're getting close to that equipment. Everyone would know that. But the paramedic one, it could just be believable enough. I was 6 and I was talking to the anesthesiologist right before surgery. I asked him if he would use a needle or a mask to put me to sleep, and he said, "Whichever you want, but I'm really just the janitor." Scared the crap out of me. Right before I went under to have surgery on my septum, I was about to start counting backwards before they put the mask on. Does anyone need anything while I'm out? The last thing I remember was an OR room full of people hysterically laughing. I was being wheeled into emergency abdominal surgery once, and my girlfriend was with me. We're rolling down the hall and they have the mask out to put me under, and I pause and say to her, "Don't let them touch my junk." The nurse smirked a little and they put the mask on me. In somewhat of a panicked fashion, I pulled the mask off, stared up at my girlfriend, and with full weight and seriousness told her, "They can look at it, but no touching." I heard the doctor laughing as the gas kicked in. Priorities, man. Emergency abdominal surgery, just leave my junk alone, please. They had a thing checking my heart and it fell off and flatlined. I told him, "Gosh dang it, you killed me." My twin owes me big time for this one. Surgeon, mine too. Anesthesiologist, mine too. When I was a kid, they told me to count back from 10, so I did. I got all the way to 0 and the doctors were looking at one another extremely confused. Then, just before they were about to do something, I conked out. "If I don't make it through this, tell my wife I want her to be buried alive with me." That is the hallmark of a healthy relationship. When I had my wisdom teeth removed and was given general anesthetic, I apparently said, "If this is what being on drugs is like, sign me up." He went and told on me to my mother. Oh, that just reminds me of this time in high school. I was getting a physical because I had to every year for swim team. And I hadn't slept well in days. I've struggled with sleep issues for a good while, and so this wasn't anything uncommon. But I went in there, I was a little out of it, my eyes were really red, and I'm stripped down my boxers. Doctor's just like, "Son, are you on drugs?" "What? No! Gosh, no, I don't even have time for drugs. I'm so busy." "It's okay. You're not gonna get in trouble if you tell me, but you need to tell me, because I can't do this physical if you're not honest with me." "Doctor, I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not on drugs." "Are you sure?" "I'm pretty sure I'd know if I was taking drugs." He then turned to my mom and was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, would you mind leaving the room?" So my mom very confusedly gets up, walks out. "Okay, son, it's just us now. You can be honest with me. You're not gonna get in trouble. Are you taking drugs?" "No! No, I am not taking drugs! I am not doing any drugs! I just haven't really slept well in 3 days!" "You can be honest." "Shut up and do the physical. I am not on drugs." I still think that I left that and he believed I was some sort of pothead. After I came to from having my wisdom teeth removed, they helped me stand up. I shook their hands off of me and yelled, "I've been drunk before," and proceeded to fall straight onto my face. Apparently, my mom heard me and just had the Captain Kirk facepalm going on when I came out. I'm pretty sure it's the Captain Picard facepalm, so yeah. Still though. Follow-up comment on that. When I was having mine extracted, I said during the procedure, "Man, it's like pulling teeth with some people." Dentist had to stop to laugh. Well, I mean, let's be honest, it's probably rare that a dentist gets that during a wisdom teeth extraction. The general anesthetic I was on for mine made me absolutely loopy. My girlfriend walked me to the pharmacy, told me to sit down and not go anywhere. I said, "Where would I go?" Like it was the dumbest thing anyone had ever told me to do. The moment she turned to go get my prescriptions filled, I got up and wandered off. I still don't know where I was trying to go. I once had to have my right hand operated on for a serious injury. "Dr. Grace, will I be able to play the guitar after this?" "Oh, sure you will." Funny, I never could before. The operating room fell silent. Anesthesiologist. "Okay, how are you feeling now?" Me. Makes lame joke. Oddly, at this point, the room starts cracking up. No way it was that funny, right? Anesthesiologist. "Told you so." Turns out he gave me a little enterograde amnesia before a spinal block, endured my stupid joke, then told the room, "Watch this, he's going to say the same dumb thing again, word for word." Oh, I could see you totally hustling someone as an anesthesiologist with that. I had an anesthesiologist that looked like Dan from Roseanne. He was awesome though. I had to have 2 eye surgeries and he was the anesthesiologist for the second time. He came in to explain the process and asked me, "So, I see you had surgery a week ago. So you know how this is done, right?" I nodded and said, "Yes, sir." His face suddenly got really serious looking and he said, "Excellent. Most people freak out when they see the hammer." Awful lot of white people in here. Me, after being sedated for a colonoscopy. Follow up on that one. This reminds me of my last colonoscopy I had. The sedation didn't take and I woke up several times during the procedure, yelling in pain and confusion before I conked out for good. When I woke up, the doctor tried to talk to me about how I was feeling, but I was so upset and freaked out, I hissed at him, then refused to speak at all. Dude! Holy crap! You were hissing at a doctor? When I got my wisdom teeth removed. Doctor: "Alright, so you feeling that sedative yet?" Me: "Yeah, a little bit. I bet I can stay awake though. How long can people usually fight it?" Doctor: "Not long. Good night." Me: "Blackout." I remember laughing when I woke up because that was the last thing I remember. That's basically what happened when I got my wisdom teeth pulled. They gave me an IV and said it was like some sort of conscious sedation where they could talk to me and I'd respond, but I wouldn't be awake for any of it. And I remember looking at the anesthesiologist and just being like, "About how long before I feel this?" And he just looked at me and said, "About 5 seconds." "How long till I'm out?" "About another 5 seconds after that." Well, that's just crazy. I don't feel anything. The next thing I remember is waking up in my parents' car. That stuff is crazy. To the surgeon and nurse, "I just want you both to know, good luck. We're all counting on you." Gosh. Oh, someone had to go there. And then the follow-ups. "Surely you can't be serious." "I am serious, and don't call me Shirley." And then someone else remarks, "That's my line. Their username is Surely You Can't Be Serious." Oh gosh, I need to watch that movie again. Freaking classic. Never could make it today, but man, it's a classic. Just before I blacked out, the anesthesiologist said to me, "This is the stuff that killed Michael Jackson." Well, that's reassuring. Had a patient fight anesthesia once. After his head hit the pillow, the anesthesiologist said, "Resistance is futile." There is another Skywalker. Yeah, that's the one I'm going to try next time. If for no other reason, paying homage and honoring the original trilogy because that was by far the best one, and what Disney has done with the continuation of that saga is... To be fair, I thought they did a fantastic job with Rogue One. Gosh, that is such a wonderful movie. And if you disagree, well, I guess there's just no hope for you. Walking from anesthesia one time, I heard someone say, "His blood pressure's a little high." Then I mumbled, "That'd be the anesthesiologist's assistant's fault." They then kinda startled, asking quickly, "Why is that?" Becoming slightly more coherent, I continued with, "She's really hot." They all laughed and said, "He'll be fine," and released me from theater. When I got my wisdom teeth out, the dentist's office was right next to a funeral home. I told the guy that if anything went horribly wrong, they could just take me next door. Mother and doctor were not amused. Last time I went under, I started to feel a sort of paralysis and couldn't move. Me: "Whoa, did you give me something?" Nurse: "Yes, just relax and don't fight it." Me: "Okay, but you should sell this stuff in the gift shop." Everybody laughs. Surgeon: "Are you okay?" Me: "Yeah, but I'm disappointed there's no cake." Surgeon: On the recovery notes, write "give the patient cake." Next thing I know, I'm waking up in recovery with a slice of chocolate cake on the table next to me. Oh no, that's good customer service. I had to get some surgery that involved cutting open my head. Right before they gassed me, I said, "I should warn you, there's a spooky skeleton in there." The last thing I remember is his response of, "I'll try to look out for that." That was r/AskReddit, and if you're looking for more funny or uplifting AskReddit content, then feel free to check out the playlist link in the description below. Now Now you guys go out there, have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.